I'm Sue Williams, the Chief Executive Officer of Children's Trust for South Carolina. And first, I want to thank all of you for holding these hearings around the state. I understand the time commitment it takes on your part, but sincerely believe these are crucial to identifying and addressing the needs of children and their families in South Carolina. You may know this, but as a refresher, Children's Trust of South Carolina was established in 1984 by the General Assembly to award grants to nonprofit organizations and qualified state agencies to fund innovative child abuse and neglect prevention programs in order to meet the critical needs of South Carolina's children. Since that time, Children's Trust has grown into that mandate. We are the only statewide organization solely focused on preventing abuse and neglect before it ever happens. We lead and support a network of more than 50 organizations who share the belief that all children should thrive, live in secure families, and be surrounded by supportive communities. We provide funding, resources, and training to help our local program partners deliver proven prevention programs, including the state's coordinated efforts for Family Resource Centers, the Strengthening Families Program, Triple P, or the Positive Parenting Program, South Carolina Adverse Childhood Experiences Initiative, Home Visiting, and Child Abuse Prevention Month. There is a line in our statute that specifies we must, and I quote, supplement and augment, but not take the place of services provided by state agencies. This means Children's Trust must have a keen understanding of how South Carolina and its agencies are investing in children and supporting their families so that our resources and know-how can build upon what is already at work. To deliver on our mandate, we must have a strong, productive working relationship with all state agencies in their service to children and their families, but specifically and in regard to our mandate of preventing abuse and neglect, the Department of Social Services. Since Director Mike Leach's arrival at the South Carolina DSS 4 years ago, we have had that productive and constructive partnership. I believe that leadership at the top of an organization heavily influences culture and work ethic throughout. And it is refreshing and energizing to experience the positive difference Director Leach has made in his 4 short years. He and I regularly coordinate on a wide variety of joint initiatives, as do members of our team. Together in partnership, the Department of Social Services and Children's Trust support the Strengthening Families Program, car seat safety, early care and education marketing, and community prevention training. During his tenure, Director Leach has used his voice to influence and fuel the conversation around what it will take to transform South Carolina, shifting the system from one that simply responds to and treats child abuse and neglect to one that understands and works to relieve the factors that determine it. If we can make sure families have what they need to provide safe, stable homes, we can keep families together and keep kids out of the system. We are proud to partner with DSS on the national initiative of Thriving Families, Safer Children, which looks at those upstream investments and efforts that will build stronger families and communities across South Carolina. In a perfect world, children would not ever need to be removed from their parents, and every child would have a safe, loving, and nurturing home. But we don't live in a perfect world. South Carolina DSS, under Director Leach and his leadership team, have worked hard to promote kinship care, which allows children who have been removed from their home to stay with relatives. This allows the family unit to stay intact, which lessens the trauma associated with separating children from their parents. Unfortunately, South Carolina is one of 10 states that has not opted into the federal Title IV-E Guardianship Assistance Program. This federal formula grant program allows relatives who have assumed legal guardianship of eligible children to receive assistance payments similar to those that foster parents receive. We believe South Carolina should do everything it can to support families, especially those involved in kinship care. We believe opting into the Guardianship Assistance Program would be a big step in the right direction for these vulnerable children. I often talk about how we all must work together to prevent child abuse and neglect. Individuals, organizations, communities, and state agencies. This work is too big to leave up to one agency. We all must do our part if we want to keep children safe and give them every opportunity to thrive. For the first time in a very long time, DSS is leaning into its leadership and moral mandate. We see their results, experience the passion they have for the most vulnerable in our state, and we readily look for more opportunities to work together. Speaking on behalf of the team at Children's Trust, we are incredibly optimistic about the future of prevention in South Carolina. Again, and in closing, I thank you for your time today and your commitment to the children and families of South Carolina.